This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Enjoy the action and excitement of NCAA Division II athletics at Augustana. Augie Sports Update is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Last Saturday evening, Coach Tom Billeter's Augustana men's basketball team pulled out a thrilling 103-93 double overtime victory over Bemidji State before a fired-up Elman Center crowd of 3,213. With the Vikings down 3 in regulation, senior standout Cody Schilling hit an off-balance three-pointer to send the game to overtime. In the first OT, both Augustana and BSU had chances to gain the upper hand, but shots did not fall. In the second overtime, the Vikings gained control to grab the exciting 10-point win. Cody Schilling led Augustana with 29 points. Dre Murray tacked on 21, with Cameron McCaffrey adding 17 and Yuri Malashenko 13 to go along with 8 rebounds. Then on Sunday afternoon, the Vikings fell to a hot shooting Minnesota Duluth team 101-99 at the Elman Center. Augustana got out to a 47-43 halftime lead and pushed that margin to 8 points early in the second half, but UMD came back to earn the 2-point win. The Vikings, now 9-5 overall and 6-4 in the NSIC, were led by Cameron McCaffrey with 27 points. Dre Murray added 20, Cody Schilling 15, and Leif Noblin 10. Murray also distributed 8 assists. In women's basketball, Coach Dave Kraus' team rolled over Bemidji State 91-69. The Vikings got out to a 44-22 halftime lead and kept on moving in the second half to pick up their 10th victory of the season. Alex Feeney and Lydia Nelson led the way as they scored 17 points each. Molly Hayes added 13 points, Shantiva Ashley 11, and Cammie Coyne 10. Feeney paced Augustana in rebounds as she grabbed 6 boards. Ashley also contributed an outstanding floor game as she dished out 11 assists and picked up 4 steals. Then on Sunday afternoon, the Vikings won their 5th consecutive game as they defeated a physical Minnesota Duluth team 87-72. Augustana, now 10-3 overall and 8-2 in the NSIC, got 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 block shots from Alex Feeney. Shantiva Ashley added 15 points, with Faith Ticklenberg and Emily Schulte notching 10 each. Molly Hayes led the Vikings with 7 assists. The Augustana ladies shot 49% from the field and made 20 of 22 free throw attempts in the home court victory. And in wrestling, Coach Jason Reitmeyer's team won 2 of 3 matches on the first day of the NCAA Division II National Duels in Springfield, Illinois. The Vikings defeated Findlay University 27-12 and Northern State 25-15, while dropping a 21-10 match to number 4 ranked Nebraska Kearney. Winning all 3 matches for Augustana were Cody Lensing at 125 pounds, Nate Herda at 149, and Carl Sirk at 174. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana men's basketball with Coach Tom Billeter. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition. By Schoenemann's, your trusted building center since 1888. And by Mid-Continent Communications, part of your community.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh-cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Cleaning hard water spots takes time and effort. Be sure your water softener is working properly. Your Culligan man can make sure any brand water softener is working by performing a 10-point inspection for only $19.95. That's Culligan. Better water, pure and simple.
Even the highest efficiency dishwasher can't remove spots from your glasses if you have hard water, but a Culligan High Efficiency water softener can. The Culligan High Efficiency saves you up to 46% in operating costs, and it makes your glasses look 100% beautiful.
The all-new midsize 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
With every click of a LifeTouch camera, a school memory is captured. Education benefits. And children are safer. LifeTouch School Portraits. Great things come from great pictures.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big fan of how youth sports can help kids stay physically fit. But as an athlete and a parent, I'm also very concerned about safety. Millions of sports-related concussions happen every year, and many go unrecognized. That's alarming because the wrong treatment can slow recovery, worsen the condition, or lead to permanent damage. Please learn the facts about concussions and help protect our young athletes.
To learn more, visit sanfordhealth.org/heads-up.
The Augustana Men's Basketball Report is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Joining me now is Augustana men's basketball coach Tom Billiter. Tom, we're right after the Minnesota-Duluth game here at the Elman Center. The Vikings losing a hard-fought 101-99 battle, but we're going to back up first and talk about last night's exciting game. A real thriller here at the Elman Center. The Vikings kind of pulling a rabbit out of a hat to come back and pick up a double overtime win over Bemidji State.
Well,
talk about that one.
Yeah, very fortunate. And, Bemidji's a good basketball team. Come in here, I think, at 10-3 and ahead of us in the standings. And, the league is incredibly good this year, top to bottom. And a team like Bemidji's got all their kids now for 4 years. Talking with Matt before the game, this is his group. He's kind of kept them together and, kind of earmarked this year as being the year. And then you add a very nice transfer at Christmas time in Cockrell. He was there. He just got eligible at Christmas. So, the teams that got to play them early, this is the first loss they had with him back. They were 3-0. So you got a kid like Ellisor who's averaging over 20 a game and got 34 against us. Cockrell, who's incredibly athletic and can shoot it. Tesdall, who just runs everything and had, right now he has 69 assists to 28 turnovers. They're a good basketball team. I thought we played well enough to win it. We kind of got down a little bit late in the second half and had to claw back, and then we were fortunate to win it. But I didn't think we played poorly. It just took, like you said, it took a lot of luck, and thank goodness God was a Viking that night, because Cody's three was within about a tenth of a second. It was right call, but it was close.
Yeah, it was. Well, let's talk about that last play. Everybody likes to focus on that, although it was a long game, but it was exciting. So talk about what you drew up and how she came out.
Well, really and truly, what we had drawn up was exactly what happened. We wanted three shooters on the side of the floor and have Dre create. Of course, we thought they'd foul, and so you kind of have it in the back of your mind to shoot it. I'm jumping ahead, but even this last game against Duluth, as Dre was bringing it, we knew they were going to foul, and I was trying to get him to shoot it and have it be for 3 free throws. But they didn't, and Yuri had a decent look, not great, with under probably 2 seconds, and a guy closes hard on him. I can't remember who it was, and has the presence of mind to pitch it over to Cody. And with very little time, Cody drilled it, and then we ended up going to double overtime and getting the win. And you're right, it was a very emotional win. It was a fun win. You're kind of on top of the world, and then 20 hours later, you're going to turn around and come back and play. And I just didn't think the energy and the spirit and what we needed was there in the turnaround.
Well, we talked before we went on the air here. Extremely tough stretch for the Vikings. Tough road trip at St. Cloud and Concordia. Back home for 2 games, 4 in 7 days, and then put on top of it a double overtime game last night, 10 extra minutes. Minnesota Duluth, by comparison, had their travel partner Bemidji last week, only 1 game, and then the 2 here. So, that's a factor. You can't make excuses, but Tom, it is a factor.
Yeah, and we played tired. I mean, we played that way a little bit, but you got, these kids play 3, 4, 5 AAU games a day all summer long, and that's why you work so hard in September and October, is to get in condition and to do the things you got to. We did the stretch. We talked about this first day of practice and, finals and all of that. So, you got to just put on your mental tough bonnet and get out there and get after it. And there's every game right now for where we're at's important. There's a lot of season left, and there's going to be some L's out there for a lot of teams. And we're by no means done, but we have to get back into our workman, blue-collar type mode and really break our defense back down and get good defensively.
Well, it's probably good you got a full week of practice. Just one game this week with Wayne State. What's the practice plan?
Well, you know, Wayne's a difficult team to play because they'll probably come in here and slow it down. They're very patient. We're a team that, like, you know, obviously we scored 200 points this weekend and went 1-1. So the first thing we're going to do, and I hate doing, is give them a day off. We have to. You know, we've had no days, and we have to give them. You can only go so many in a row. So tomorrow they're off. I'm sure they'll be up and getting shots. They'll be in the weight room. In the film room. You know, they're going to be around and doing stuff on their own, I'm sure. But Bill will probably even somewhere along the line maybe take, you know, a light day too, just to get their legs back. And we got to get them upbeat and positive. And you know, I tried to be, you know, what I would consider fair in the locker room, but I was a little bit down too, and I got to get their spirits back up, and we'll do that. So a lot of year left, just a real, you know, gut-wrenching loss, but I got to compliment, you know, Gary and Duluth. I thought they played great. I mean, they absolutely played great.
Yeah, and the league is much better. There's no night off in the conference, that's for sure. Tom, you alluded to something that I think a lot of us wonder about, that are coaches and also who people sitting in the stands, and that is the decision of whether to foul or not to foul when you have a 3-point lead. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't, but you know, if you're going to do it, you better do it on the half. And they did a smart play. They did it on the other half of the floor, where you know, you practice that. If you do it on the bucket end half, and kid going up for a shot, and you do, you give up 3 free throws or lose the game. You know, he could make it and have a 4-point play. So something you have to practice. We have certain parameters, you know, there's sometimes we may not. We have different times on the clock. Obviously, all teams do. And the NBA's done a study, and it's like effective 82% of the time. So it's not a bad thing to do. And you saw us at the end. We tried to miss the second free throw and just didn't get a good miss. It went off to the side. So, you know, coaches have different ways of doing it. I have the way I do it. I'm just not going to say, because I don't want anybody to know. So
not let the cat out of the bag. Well, listen, Coach, get them back together and get after Wayne State.
Thanks, Drew.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report with Coach Dave Krauth is next.
How do you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
My eye was a tumor and it hurts in my head, and it's right here. I have 3 favorite colors: red, pink, and purple. I like to draw fairies, princesses, and clothes. I want to be, when I grow up, a clothes modeler. It models clothes. This is my victory.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. With 6-team national championships since 2006 and 18 individual national champions, the NSIC has developed into the premier Division II conference in the upper Midwest. The NSIC boasts 14 schools competing in 17 sports, all committed to one common goal: athletic and academic excellence. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics.
Why do you play? Why go through all the pain? The endless practices? For the victories? For the joy of playing the game? Or do you play for something even greater? If you already know the answer, we're the network for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by Mid-Continent Communications.
With me now is Augustana Women's Basketball Coach Dave Krauth. Well, Dave, we're right after the big victory here over Minnesota Duluth. The Vikings with a super weekend here at the Elman Center. It started out yesterday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Big game, nice crowd here at the Elman. The Vikings with a impressive victory over Bemidji State.
You know, that was one where we lost up there last year to a team. I mean, they basically had a lot of the same players, and whether we weren't ready or the road, you know, you just aren't, you know, putting your best foot forward, and we couldn't get ourselves rolling enough. And then they just so quick, and they shoot the three so well with their little guards that I didn't know how that matchup would go. But we had them back on our heels, and they 20 turnovers in the first half and 33 for the game, I think was kind of the stat that told the story.
Yeah, it was 44-22 at halftime, and the Vikings never looked back as they ran to a great victory there. Today, a different kind of team. Minnesota Duluth coming in here, very physical basketball team. And it was a hard-fought game, Dave. I know you were concerned in the second day, as we mentioned before you got on the air.
It's one of those where, maybe you're, I'm looking at the glass, half empty a little bit too. But, this is our fourth game in the week. It's their third, and they had a, more of a slow-paced game at Wayne last night, and our kids were sluggish this morning at shoot-around. And so I was very concerned whether we have to be high energy to be effective. But boy, I tell you what, we hustled for 40 minutes, and I think that, overall, we got balance again, but that was the difference, the hustle.
Yeah, tremendous balance. If you look at the Vikings, 7 players with between 21 and 8 points, led by Alex Feeney, 21 points, 6 rebounds, blocked 5 shots. She had a great game, Dave.
Yeah, and, unfortunately, she missed a couple of bunnies and chippies, or her stat line could have been a whole lot better, but she hung in there, and that happened for the most part in the first half. And well, I guess she did have one chippy she missed in the second, but she's been pretty consistent for us.
Yeah, she had a great game. And then Molly Hayes, 7 assists. You had Shantiva Ashley with 15 points. Emily Bowes came in.
Yeah.
Cammie Coyne. I mean, you just have a very good mix of players.
Yeah, and I was very pleased. This kind of was the first opportunity for Emily Bowes to get some extended minutes, and she's been battling, some injury things, and just responded well. Knocked down some shots, and of course you hope they get you some rebounds. But Schulte didn't have a great game, but I mean, she makes them plays defensively and gets some steals that really charge up your team.
Yeah, helter skelter. That's what I was telling somebody here as we were watching them play. But it's a lot of fun. Well, Dave, 4 games in 7 days here.
Yep.
And now you have a chance to kind of get back into the routine of things. Of course, kids are in school here.
Yep.
And we have a very tough game with the league-leading team from Wayne State here at the Elman Center on Saturday.
Yeah, nobody's been able to figure out how to score against them. And they've had a couple of they've stubbed their toe a couple times at key points in the last couple of years, but they're kind of the cream of the crop. And I'm glad this one is here. We're going to have to hit some shots against their zone, but that's easier said than done because not many teams do. And plus they've got the top player in the league, in Ashley Arland, and we're going to have to try to do a job on her. And we're not going to shut her down, but just make her have to earn everything she gets.
Well, our team is fun to watch, fans. If you haven't seen an Augie game, or if you've just seen a couple, get to this one on Saturday, Elman Center. 4 o'clock, the Vikings and Wayne State. Good luck, Dave.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.
You may have met one. The teachers who challenge. The ones who motivate. The ones who can fire imagination. The ones, in short, that you'll find at Augustana. Now, maybe you don't believe that one college could have so many great professors. If so, you're in for an education. Augustana.
I was half the person I used to be, literally. I knew that if I didn't have the strength that I'd back in my body, I'd never be able to ride my Harley again, and that was one of my other goals I had, was to be able to get back on the bike. Just being able to get out and experience, the area and the surroundings on the back of a bike is so much different than being in a car. You can smell the smells as you drive through, you can hear the sounds. It's just great. This is my victory.
You travel these parts like we have, and you can't miss it. Pride. Pride in who we are, where we're going, and where we want to be. It brings us together, makes us better. We've learned some truths along the way. Talent. It isn't measured by geography. Small town doesn't mean small time. And every battle is epic to those in the fight. This is how we do sports.
Fixing hard water spots takes time and effort. Be sure your water softener is working properly. Your Culligan man can make sure any brand water softener is working by performing a 10-point inspection for only $19.95. That's Culligan. Better water, pure and simple.
Even the highest efficiency dishwasher can't remove spots from your glasses if you have hard water, but a Culligan high efficiency water softener can. The Culligan high efficiency saves you up to 46% in operating costs, and it makes your glasses look 100% beautiful.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
Always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Augie Sports Focus is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Joining me now is Augustana basketball player Cameron McCaffrey. Cameron, right after the Minnesota-Duluth game here at the Elman Center, the Vikings losing a heartbreaker 101-99. But we're going to back up, look at the first game of the weekend here first. The Vikings with a thrilling win over Bemidji State. Talk about that one. Your thoughts?
I mean, it was a great game. We came out and played them really tough. We knew they were a really good team. They're playing as good as any team in the country right now. And, I mean, Cody hit that shot, sent it to overtime, and that was a great feeling, you know, have a chance to still go win the game. And it was a great game, you know, classic college game. Got to play 2 overtimes and come out with the win, so it was a great feeling. You seem to get her going a little bit more in the overtime, going to the bucket. Did they run Augie run some special stuff? Yeah, we changed up our offense a little bit, so I was coming off on the right side because I'm a lot better going with my right hand than my left. So coming off that ball screen, we thought I had a mismatch, and so we exploited it, and it worked out pretty well. Good, good. Well, a great win for the Vikings, and then here this afternoon, a disappointing one. Cam and I were talking as we went on the air. Not much fun to be on right after a game like this one, but you had an outstanding game yourself, had it going, but your thoughts on this one? Well, I mean, anytime you let a team score 100 points on you, it's going to be really tough to win. I mean, our offense was going well. We almost had 100, so that was good, but I mean, we got to play some defense. We got to have more intensity and force them to take some more bad shots, get some turnovers. I think they only had like 6 turnovers, so we definitely got to amp it up on that end because I mean, if we don't play any defense, we're not going to win any games. So. Yeah, it's time to do that, and the Vikings have a week of practice here to get ready for Wayne State coming up on Saturday again here at the Elman Center. Well, Cam, let's change gears a little bit. We were talking again before we went on the air about your major and kind of what your future plans are. Talk about that. Well, first, if I can, I'm going to try to go to Europe and play some professional basketball over there. And if my body holds up and that works out, that'll be great. But if I don't go do that, or when I come back, I want to be a chiropractor. Okay. So I'm an exercise science major with almost a biology minor, and so that's what I want to do. I'm going to apply to Northwestern up in Bloomington, Minnesota. It's a good chiropractic school, so that's what I want to do. Well, that's a great goal to have. You've had a little experience with injuries, a couple of scopes on that knee this summer. How did those go? They went well. I mean, I've never had a serious injury like that before. It was just a meniscus tear, and so I had that first one back in the spring right before the summer, and then at the end of the summer I had like a little piece of cartilage floating around in there still, so they went and sucked that out, and since then I've been feeling great. I mean, my knee's doing great, and hopefully I don't have to get any more. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Well, last question here, I guess, Cam. It was kind of a special for you, I think. The team went back out to your home in Oregon, played a couple of games. What was that like? I mean, it's great. It was really nice, Coach B, to schedule some games out there because I got a bunch of friends from high school and friends and family that can't come watch me out here. And so it was nice to invite them to the games, and they get to see where I'm playing at now. So. Okay. Well, listen, Cam, you hang in there, get the head back up in the air, get the Vikings going, and back on the winning track. Thanks for being with us. Yep.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is next. We'll be right back.
Here's to all you crazies. You, the hometown diehards. The fanatics. That's what a fan is, after all. You live or die by what happens on the field, on the court, and in your heart every time your team plays. So, let your freak flag fly. We're here for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
The all-new midsize 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
They're not that easy to come by. The teachers who engage us. The truly gifted ones. The ones whose words stay with us for days or even years. The odds are you'll only know a few of them. Unless you go to Augustana. Then your chances are greatly improved. Augustana.
There's just times that there's a lot of darkness. I would be in church looking at the PowerPoint and just thinking, this could be my funeral, this could be my pictures up there. The day came when I could actually stand in front of our congregational family and I could sing a solo, and that was so huge because I had forgotten how beautiful a song could be in my heart.
My word is celebrate.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Let's take a look at the Augustana Sports Calendar for this week. Saturday, January 14th, wrestling is on the road at St. John's University in Collegeville, Minnesota. And indoor track gets their season rolling here during the winter months with the USD Invitational in Vermilion. And the basketball teams are back home again as they take on Wayne State. The women tip off at 4, followed by the men at 6 at the Elman Center. Then on Sunday, January 15th, wrestling continues their road trip at Concordia University in Moorhead. And remember, for radio coverage of Augustana basketball, you can hear the men on KIKN FM 100.5 and worldwide at KIKN.com. And the Augustana ladies can be heard on KXRB AM 1000 and worldwide at KXRB.com. And for complete information on Augustana athletics, go to our website, goaugie.com. That's it for this week's show. This is Bill Gross thanking you for watching, and I hope you'll join me again at this same time next week for another edition of Augustana Sportscene. Have a great week, everybody.
You've been watching Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on NCAA Division II athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.